Hey, good morning, Matt. Greetings from Toronto. How are
Oh,
you?
Toronto.
Yeah, eh?
Hey. Oh,
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
That's great. Well, listen, there's so much to talk to you about because you have one of the most varied careers of anyone I've ever spoke to. Before we talk about live rescue, because that's very exciting, I have to mention Ninja Warrior because, in our home, we started watching it from day one. And how it's evolved, and what I love, and what we love so much about that show, is how it's just become everybody just roots for
Yeah.
everybody, especially you guys as hosts. I mean, honestly, what is it that show is a
Well,
phenomenon?
I think you
Seriously.
you 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 hit the nail on the head. I think one of the unique things about American Ninja Warrior is unlike any other reality show, in that people aren't competing against each other. They're competing, not even competing against, of course, they're competing against themselves to be better versions of themselves, which allows them to cheer for each other. And what's nice is, as hosts, we don't have to be impartial. We don't have to. We get to cheer for everybody, which I love as well, because we've gotten to know them. I've been with them for a decade now. I've seen these people grow up, get married, have kids. I've seen how much they've sacrificed to compete in this show. I know how much it means to them. So I want them all to do well.
Yeah, yeah, and we can see your excitement as well because you're just as
I am
to hit that buzzer.
enthusiastic.
It's truly amazing. I like watching you guys. I think sometimes more than I watch like the course. I'm holding my breath. I can't believe what these guys do. But what is so fabulous is how they inspire and have become role models for young kids.
And that's what's amazing. We now do American Ninja Warrior Junior, and seeing this next generation have that same camaraderie and this same sportsmanship, and to see people stepping out of their comfort zone and realizing it's okay to fall. That's not failure as long as you get back up, and saying as long as you're doing better than you were the day before, then that's the best you can do. That's the best you should do. That's all you need to expect. And just seeing how they support each other, it's awesome. And for people who might not play football, basketball, baseball, or hockey, to have a sport where people who are maybe a little smaller, or just aren't into that team dynamic, who find this and find a family with it. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it really is. What a great! I just hope it continues forever. It's such a
Me
great show,
too.
and it's great watching you on it. So live rescue, this is very cool. So season two just started up, and you've taken over as host. Tell us a little bit about the show for people who just don't know anything about it.
So it's similar to Live PD, in that I'm based in New York City, the A&E headquarters, but we have 30 cameras in 7 cities across America, following firefighters, paramedics, and EMTs as they respond to whatever is happening live on a Monday night. So just last week, we saw someone be slashed by a random passerby, deaf. The paramedics having to try to communicate with him, figure out what went on, get him care. We saw paramedics responding to overdoses and having to administer Narcan to bring someone back from the jaws of death. And then a firefighter in San Bernardino driving along the street, coming back from another call, sees a car accident, pulls over, looks like a random fender bender in the middle of the day. Turns out it was a gang shooting, one car shooting at another. The suspects were in there. They start to flee. He realizes he's in the middle of a serious felony here. And what looked like a fender bender all of a sudden turns into a really big crime, has to get the police involved. And you see how these circumstances change in an instant. And these first responders have to be prepared. It's not just about saving lives. It's about saving lives of everyone around you, and taking it all into account. What they do is, it's unbelievable to see their skills handling people, handling the situation, and staying cool under fire. And what's awesome is, from week to week, we're going to get to know these first responders and see them as people, not just a person, a firefighter or a paramedic, but to see them as full people. And that's one of the cool things about the show.
Yeah, and how do they respond to having these cameras kind of following them or watching, and does that put added pressure on them? Like it's amazing to me.
That's a good question. They would have to answer that. As far as I know, I think all the departments are excited to have the cameras along to show them doing their jobs, and to show them at their best, and to give people an idea of what it really takes to be a first responder, and not just these 90-second clips you might see on Facebook or in the news, but to see us for 2 hours, to see it, and for week after week, to see these people coming back, and to see how they might respond to some of the same people. I think it gives it a fuller picture of what their job entails. And that's what we want to do, is we want to tell the stories, not just of the people who need their help, but of the first responders. I think they're really the stars of the show, and I'm excited for everyone to get to know them over the coming weeks.
Yeah, how did this come to you, Matt? Because it's it's a different type of hosting job. It's
Yeah.
and as you say, you don't know what's going to happen from minute. Well, it's kind of like Ninja Warrior. You just don't even know what's
Well,
going to happen
it's
from
funny,
second
Bonnie.
to
I think
second.
it's really similar. There
Yeah.
are a couple things about Ninja Warrior that I think are similar to Live Rescue. That ultimately, Ninja Warrior is about telling stories, the stories of those athletes, and same with First Rescue or with Live Rescue. It's about telling the stories of these first responders and the people that they're helping. But I also think in both cases, with Ninja Warrior and with Live Rescue, these are everyday people who just happen to do extraordinary things. And these first responders, we see them. They're parents. They're the little league coach. They're your brother. They're your friend. And yet they've chosen to do a job where they face life or death situations every day, multiple times in a day. That's extraordinary. So I love watching them do what they do.
Yeah, it is very cool to watch it. There's no question about it. Matt, as I was saying earlier in the interview, you have one of the most varied careers and lives. Honestly, it's insane. You started off, you went to school, you went to medical
Yes.
school, and then and then all of a sudden you decide, okay, I'm going to be a comedian, and then and then it just kind of evolved from there. What First off, I have to ask, what were your parents' reactions when you told them that you didn't want to be a
Well,
doctor?
they don't know, Bonnie, so I'm hoping they're not seeing this interview. They think I'm still a doctor. No,
Got it. I
I was
got
very
it.
fortunate. My dad's a doctor. He was a professor at the University of Colorado where I was doing my residency in internal medicine. And when I told him I was thinking of taking a break and trying stand-up comedy, it was the hardest conversation I'd ever had in my life. And I didn't know what he was going to say, but the first words out of his mouth were, life is short, do what makes you happy. And they've supported me every step of the way. They watched the first episode of Live Rescue last week. They're going to be watching every Monday night. They've been unbelievably supportive, and I'm lucky to have them as my parents and to allow me to kind of chase a dream and end up doing what I love and getting to tell these stories and being on Live Rescue to combine my medical background with the storytelling that I've been doing in entertainment. It's kind of nice to have it come full circle and feel like, okay, I'm kind of getting to use my MD. It wasn't a total waste.
No, it wasn't a total waste at all. I know. Hey, listen, that stuff always comes
Yes.
in handy. You never know, right? And now I have to say, you've done some crazy things, but lip sync battle, you got some nice legs there,
I
Matt.
think I have great gams, but I will say I was Cher. For those who haven't seen it, you can
Yeah.
Google Matt Iseman Cher lip sync battle, and I was the champ.
Yes.
And I thought my legs were great. Cher, I never heard from Cher. I think she was a little jealous. I think she thought I might have been bringing a little much Cher. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. And also, you could fill in for her
Well,
now
I,
whenever if she gets ill on
if you
tour or
look at my
something, for sure.
career, I just don't say no very often. I like to say yes to things, and I see where it takes me. And it's been crazy, from getting to do Celebrity Apprentice with Arnold Schwarzenegger to Lip Sync
Yes.
Battle to Ninja Warrior and now
Yeah.
to Live Rescue. I'm lucky to have the opportunities that I've had, and I love what I do. I can't wait to be in studio with Live Rescue and see what these first responders do.
Yeah, well, we're excited to watch it too. It's on Monday nights, of course. And I listen. I love. When are we going to come? Have you come here and maybe do a little
I
stand
would
up in
love to. I
Toronto?
love Toronto. Last time I was there, I think was the World Series in '92. So it's been
Oh
too
my God,
long.
way
Yeah,
too
I need to get
long.
back.
Way too long. Oh, all right. We need to
Thanks,
have you
Bonnie.
back. We'll work on that. You're just you're what? You're an hour by plane. Come on,
Easy.
you've got no excuse. Well, listen,
Thanks.
congratulations. Thanks for, just keeping everything so positive, and we just love
Thank you,
watching
Bonnie.
you. And best of luck with Live Rescue and everything else.
Well,
Thanks
you
for your
are a
time, Matt.
Canadian Ninja Warrior.